Y'all should have gave me that quotable. Dave Mays, whoever's at that source, y'all should have gave me that quotable. It takes concentration and confrontation. I'm sort of psycho like on a motorcycle. Who was rhyming like that? Who was rhyming like that at 18 years old? You know what I mean?
It's not an interview. It's a conversation. FT.
FT, street smarts. Now, Problems and Metal Things, I consider those my first records. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Really, Problems was actually my first song, like, I recorded, like, an actual three verses and hook. You know what I mean? That was like, and I remember recording that. I was 17 when I did that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I was 17 when I did that joint. And it was like a new toy when I first did it. You know what I mean? Buck Wild produced the beat. You know what I mean? And yeah, we recorded that in Unique Studio. You know what I'm saying? And I just remember, you know.
So let's go back.
Oh, my bad.
That song is incredible, Dro. That
Thanks.
song is incredible.
Thanks, man.
Let's go back to, you got the beat, you wrote to the beat. You remember that?
Right.
Take it from there.
Okay, I got the beat. I wrote to the beat. Now, the beat is, you know, basically I got heartbroken around that time. I was a teenager. You know, my girlfriend dumped me, and I was angry. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I got this opportunity to say, so that was my kind of my revenge too to me. Like, yo, okay, you dumped me. Okay, I'm dumping these lyrics right now on you. You feel me? And you gonna hear it on the radio, and it's gonna be like crazy. You feel me? That was how my mentality back then. You know what I mean? But overall, it was fun, man. I had a lot of fun. I recorded it now, and I like talking about the process of recording it because I had a hard time. You know what I mean? And I recorded the first 2 verses, right? And okay, they was like, yo, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? But then Buck Wild and Lee, you know what I mean? They was like, yo, you need a hook, you feel me? You need to finish the last verse. He's like, these verses gotta go into the hook. So I'm like, yo, man, I know we only got a certain amount of time in the studio, you know what I mean? You know, we on a budget. You know what I mean? We paying a producer. And I'm like, yo, man, I'm under pressure. You know what I mean? This is my first time, like, recording on my own in a big studio. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I'm mad nervous. I'm like, oh, man, they want me to come up with a hook right now? Like, yo. So then I just start brainstorming. My cousin was with me. Shout out to my cousin, Maz. You know what I mean? He was with me. You know what I mean? And we was just sitting in there. And he was just coaching me, you know. Then I go, yo, son, we smoking, you know, back then we smoked mad blunts, drink mad 40s and shit, you know what I mean? So, yo, we burning. Next thing you know, he goes, no, I go, yo, son, remember that hook? Because we used to always freestyle. That's all we used to do is freestyle all day, you know what I mean? Pardon my French. Next thing you know, I go, yo, son, remember that hook you had? Bitches ain't nothing but problems. Can't live with them. Can't live without them. He was like, yeah. I was like, yo, can I use that right now? He's like, yeah. I was like, yo, I go with this shit, right? So I recorded. So they come in the studio and they like, yeah, that's it. That's it. Let's go. They was like, yo, just add the pieces to it, finish that last verse. So that's when I came up with From the Spirit. So when you hear these lyrics and sing, nowadays, these honey's all about material things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when we finished that hook, oh man, it was like such a relief. You know what I mean? And it just sounded so dope, and I was just so excited. I was like, wow, man, this is a dope record. But again, I didn't feel like that should have been my first record. That's another record. You know why? Because of the tempo of it. You know what I'm saying? And you know me, man, FT, I bring that energy, you know what I'm saying? My voice, my pattern, you know what I'm saying? It's like really, a lot of my shit is voice driven, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, nah, man. I was like, yo, I really don't want that to be first. But they was like, nah, that's a good song because it's a concept. It's smooth. You know what I mean? So next thing you know, he was like, yo, we going to do another joint, a B-side.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
So, Problems,
Okay.
was it on a beat CD or how
Oh,
did you come across the beat?
Oh, yeah. It was on a beat CD.
Okay.
Buck Wild. Buck Wild beat CD. Shout out to Buck Wild. Yo.
So take me there, man. Like somebody gave you the CD, you went to the studio.
We went to Buck's crib. At that time, it was, at that time, it was L. Like, the producers used to leave beat tapes at the label, or, they give you a beat tape. It was beat tapes. I had some legendary beat tapes, for real. But sticking to the topic, Buck Wild, we went to his crib, actually. You know what I'm saying? And I remember that it was dope. You know what I mean? We was in the Bronx somewhere. You know what I mean? We went to his crib, went down in his basement, and he was just playing mad bangers. I ain't gonna lie to you, son. Like, I remember that day. Like, I was like, I didn't know what to pick. I was like, this nigga was, he played all bangers, right? So I picked like 6 or 7. Like, he put like 6 or 7 of them on the beat tape. And then
I mean, when you heard Problems, you was like, that's one right there?
Yeah.
What was your reaction?
Oh, I was like, that shit was mad melodic. It was like, da-da-da. I heard a story, you could tell a story about something.
Right.
Like a real smooth. I was like, yeah. It just sounded so laid back, like you on an airplane or some shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, and and then I heard that, and I was like, he threw that on a beat tape. And then the A&R, and I still wasn't gonna pick that because he had harder shit on there. He had this other joint on there that was tough, like some violin shit. And you know what else he had on there? Faith Evans, I Love You.
Oh, okay.
He had that beat. I had a hook to it, right? And you know how the beat, I had a hook and went like, it goes, living it up, while all of these ladies be giving it up. All of my niggas be living it up. All these ladies be bagging all these shorties up in sports cars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But back, I was going to use a Raekwon sample and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
But I used to freestyle to that beat all f***ing day. You know what I mean? But we wound up picking Problems. You know what I'm saying? And back then, the budget, like you was paying for them beats. Like now you could go online, and back then, we was paying thousands for them beats. You know what I'm saying? So anyway.
So before you go to metal things, what was the budget that you was working with?
With that, well, I say about, I'm looking at like 20,000. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I rounded off to that. You know what I'm saying?
And this
because I know both the beats cost 5. You know what I mean?
Right.
5 racks for the A side and the B side for the beats. Then I'm thinking studio time. We was in the dopest studios, so that probably was like $1 an hour. We be in there 8 hours. You know what I'm saying?
So that 20 grand was for you to do your album, or was it your advances in like?
Nah, I'm thinking it was. I'm not even sure if it was 20 grand. I'm looking at it from a perspective of how the single was put together. I'm thinking that's how much it probably cost. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know the exact numbers for that particular single. You know what I'm saying? As far as the budget, but I know the beats. Both the beats was 5 racks a piece. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then we had features on there. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna expose that.
No,
but
go to metal.
I'm just rounding it off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't expose that, but that's a few more G's. You know what I'm saying? Studio time, food, then you know what I'm saying? I got a couple G's, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what I'm rounding it off to. You know what I mean?
So when they gave you the money, did they tell you, listen, this is to do the songs, or?
Nah, they didn't give me them. I had no control over these budgets. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, I like later on in my career, you know what I'm saying? Like when I started working on albums, you know what I'm saying? I knew more of those
We'll get to that.
Yeah,
but like,
the single shit,
yeah,
I really didn't know the budgets and shit like that. I wasn't even thinking like that because, excuse me, I'm thinking it's independent. You know what I'm saying? So, cause my back then, I was thinking like huge back then. Like I felt like I didn't want to be on no independent. Like I was fighting hard to like get off it or get that major budget. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you know what I mean? The independent shit, you ain't back then I ain't get a lot of upfront money. You know what I'm saying? You be lucky if you get a couple racks. You know what I'm saying? Then you get some money after they and then vinyl, you gotta understand back then, with vinyl and tapes, it's not like now where you can just put your shit out like off your computer right away. Back then you had to wait months for the fucking vinyl to come back.
right.
You know what I mean? And yeah, vinyl, the tapes, the mastering, all that shit was a longer process back then.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So move on to metal things.
Okay.
You know, you're in the studio, recording your verse.
Oh yeah. Metal things. Yo, that was yo man, that was a dope day. I wish I still had that footage. I can't find the footage. You know what I mean? But that was like a historic day. When I was about how old I was 18 when I did that. You know what I mean? Was I 18? No. Yeah. I was 18. I was 18 when I did that, right? So, as far as OC and Pharoah Monch, I was fans of them. You know what I mean? I used to see them on Video Music Box. OC had Word Life album out. Organized Infusion. They had Fudge Pudge, Chicken, you know, and I thought they was dope. So when the label, when they asked me about them being on the song, I was like, yo, yeah, that'd be dope. I'm fans of them. You know what I mean? But also I was excited too, cause you know, I'm like, oh shit.
So was that decision brought to you, or did you make that decision like, yo, this is who I want?
Nah, that was brought to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. At first they was trying to get Sadat, and they was trying to get like Geronimo, but we couldn't get them at that time. You know what I'm saying? I guess they was busy, or you know what I mean? Popping. It was popping back then. You know what I mean? Like, so who else? Yeah. So then they had OC and Pharoah. I was like, yo, I respect it. You know what I mean?
Right. Were you actually in the studio with them?
Yeah. I was in the studio
Talk about
with them.
that.
Yeah, I was in the studio with them, man, and it was dope, man. Like they came to the studio. They wrote their rhymes there on the spot. They recorded it there, and it was ill, bro. It was ill for an 18-year-old hip hop fanatic. You know what I'm saying? And me and my cousin was in there, and we was just all we used to do was just freestyle, watch Video Music Box, drink, smoke 40. I mean, drink liquor and smoke weed, and we used to just rhyme. That's all we used to do.
Right.
So that day with us, we just in each other's ear like, yo, son, yo, these niggas is here, son, yo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In the back, like, yo, we did it, bro. We all, you feel me?
Right.
So we, you know, the OC recorded his verse. It was ill. He killed it. You know what I'm saying? Pharoah killed it on another level. You know what I mean? Not that I was sleeping on him.
Right.
But he killed it. He killed it on another level. You know what I'm saying? And then me, I had my verse. You know what I'm saying? My verse was premeditated. I ain't even gonna lie. You know what I mean? But it fit perfect. You know what I mean? I felt like at that time that was one of my dopest rhymes in my clip. You know what I'm saying? And it haven't been heard by the world. My people in my hood might have heard it. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't heard worldwide. So I just boom, and then the hook from Metal Things is actually a verse a part of the verse from that song Ain't No Burner. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And y'all can check that out on iTunes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Ain't No Burner. You know what I'm saying? But that's that metal thing's hook. That's another thing. When I was younger, they always hit me with I always had that hook. So I'm in the studio, I'm brainstorming. I'm like, damn, I need a fucking hook. Here we go, right? And then producers back, yo, shout out to OG. You know what I mean? Producer of Metal Things, yo, gave me the ill beat. You know what I mean? And you know, they wasn't playing me, and they wanted a strong hook. You know what I'm saying? And I just thought about it. I said, yo, you know what? I'm going to use this. Yo, when you hear this shit, I bet your head will swing. Because it's a ghetto thing. When we pack metal things, it's a settle things. Because rappers used to do that shit too back then. Like they'll take one part of their verse and make it a hook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How was that single marketed? And did you do press for that single?
Yeah, we did press. But back then, like I said, it was like it's not like now, man, with the internet and everything. You know what I mean? It was harder, but we did like Source Magazine. They had it in remember Fat Tape. You know what I'm saying? Short Shot Single. We got that for Metal Things. You know what I mean? And we got Rhyme of the Month, but that was quotable. But Pharaoh March won it. You know what I mean? Shout out to Pharaoh March.
Right.
And I'm going to give y'all some juice. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you some juice. Yo, I was so tight that I didn't get that Rhyme of the Month. I was hurt because I knew I was getting it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when I opened the book that month, when I opened it, they said, yo, you in the source, you in the source. I said, yeah, word. I knew it. I went straight to the page. It was Pharaoh, son. I was like, yo, shout out to Pharaoh. I love you, bro. I was like, yo, why did they get Rhyme of the Month? Like, yo. But whatever, I got Short Shot Single.
Right.
So it was still cool. I was still happy and shit, but that's a little juice for y'all, you know what I'm saying? But Pharaoh killed it, man, like, yo, whatever. We all killed it. We all killed it. Shout out to OC, you know what I mean? OG, KO, Lee, all Gru, everybody involved with that record. We all killed it. And, yo, man, yeah, man.
How was...
Y'all should have gave me that quotable. Dave Mays, whoever's at that source, y'all should have gave me that quotable.
Yeah.
It takes concentration and confrontation. I'm sort of psycho like a retard on a motorcycle. Who was rhyming like that? Who was rhyming like that at 18 years old? You know what I mean?
Right. Now, how far did that single go? And how did it, people accept that single?
Yo, I can't front. I could say it went pretty far. And it's still, I feel like, yeah, it's a classic. It's a to me and to people, man. It's documented. It's a certified classic. You know what I mean? I think it's still gonna go. You know what I mean? It's a slow burn though.
Right.
You feel me? I think it's just still gonna go. I feel like if it had a video, you know what I mean? If either one of them songs or both of them had a video,
why you didn't have a video?
They didn't have the budget. You know what I'm saying? So when they was trying to...
Wait, with 20 racks?
I'm assuming it was 20 racks. You know what I mean? I'm assuming. They might have had more than that shit. I don't know. Like, but I'm assuming altogether because I wanted, yeah, we was pushing, of course, I was pushing them for a video, but because the song was getting a lot of play. It was getting a lot of play. And it sold, the vinyl sold 10,000 in the first week. You know what I'm saying? Like pre-order.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So.
And back then, what was the price on a vinyl single?
Them shit had to be like $4.99, son.
$5.99?
Yeah, $4.99, $5.99.
Right.
Know what I'm saying? I remember getting a couple G's from the initial, but did I make enough off it? Nah. Of course, I ain't know what the fuck I was doing, my nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same time, I feel like, yeah, that single was a classic. It would have went way further if it had a video. You know what I'm saying? They was trying to get it to, they used to have meetings with like the major distributors, like, you know, Payday. It was on the song, the DJ Premier, it's called 101. I forgot the name of the album, man. But it's a DJ Premier compilation.
Okay.
And Metal Things was on that, you know. And but it got played all over. It got man, it was like, but it was underground. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel like when it first came out, Metal Things was almost like a video would have took it over the top. That's what I really feel. You know what I mean? It would have took it over the top with all three of us in it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like right there. Everybody was playing that shit like, you know what I mean? And me, you know, back then, I was very humble, very modest. I didn't even know the impact I was making back then. You know what I mean? If I knew, you know what I mean, I was just so into, I just wanted to say the dopest shit. You know what I'm saying? Make my money, smoke my weed, take care of my kid. You feel me? That was my mind. I just wanted to be dope and just work with the dopest artists. And you know what I mean? That was my whole thing. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of shit that, you know what I mean, like a lot of shit that I missed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Word, son. I'm trying to.
So did the single go overseas and?
Yeah, yo, this overseas. That's probably where it did best. At like, yo, that shit did. It was big, man. I mean, it didn't go platinum. It didn't go gold.
Right.
But it made a lot of noise. It made a lot of noise, and I feel like if it had a video, they had that distribution, it already was a classic. But it'd be a super classic. Like earlier, we was talking about. Remember, we was talking about watching episodes of Rap City. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? If that would have came out back then on Rap City,
Yeah.
come on. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I probably somewhere touring that shit right there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you saw a Metal Things video on Rap City, oh man, or MTV, you know what I mean? You'll be like, they played Don't Trust Anyone on MTV. I don't know if you familiar with Don't Trust Anyone? Yeah. They played that on MTV. You know what I mean? But yeah.
So financially, would you say you were satisfied with what came off of that single? What you got from that single?
Metal Things?
From both. Was it?
Oh well, there was A and B side. Nah. I'm gonna say I'm never satisfied, like, cause I need this bread, man. Like,
right.
Like, and then back then, like I said, man, I didn't know the business like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know all the shit I know now. Man, I'd have came off. You know what I mean? Or I would have negotiated something, you know, more worth more. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all on what you negotiate. You know what I mean? But at that time, you just hungry, you just trying to get out the hood, and just having fun. You know what I mean? And yeah, you know what I mean? You're not thinking about.
You were doing shows and all that.
Yeah, I was doing shows, but I never with shows with me. I never had a real run of shows like every month we doing shows. You feel me? I always did shows in splurts. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Do like 5-6 shows a year type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Cause I like doing real shows though. I don't like, you know what I'm saying? I don't like going and doing shows with nobody there type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I like doing but as far as shows, yeah, I did shows, but it like not all bunched together. That wasn't my bread and butter. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Word.
But that was a big part of making money back in the days, though. The shows.
Yeah.
Doing the shows.
Yeah. But I didn't have a lot of access. You know what I'm saying? People reached out. The show, when they did reach out, we do them, but you know what I mean?
Right.
And it was like a nigga was still trying to prove myself back then. You know what I mean? And like I said, those records was big, but they wasn't huge. They wasn't, you know what I mean? But like I said, not to downplay it, the record is a classic record because, you know, almost 30 years later, you know what I'm saying? It's people still rocking it. You know what I mean? People still banging it, still spinning it. You feel me? It's a collector's item. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a fossil. You know what I'm saying? It's a word. But as far as the money, like yeah, it's a lot of shit I would have did differently from back then. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
So, okay.
I said yeah, but you know, I'm just moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So at this point, do you own the rights to that song or those songs?
Nah, I don't. I don't own the rights to those songs. I have percentages of those songs, but any of those old songs, I don't own the rights to those. But you know,
Have you tried to?
nah. But I stream them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So I'm in control of the streaming. You know what I'm saying? But those are not flat out records owned by me. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of the new stuff I'm doing, yeah, all that is owned by me. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, me and Bumpy the Great. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. But those classic, like Don't Trust Anyone, Metal Things, Problems, them joints is those is owned by TRU Criminal. You know what I mean? And but yo, let's put it in the air. Shit, I would love to buy the masters to that or work something out to try to get it. You feel me?
Right.
Straight up. You know what I mean? Word, but they streaming though, you know what I mean?
Right.
They ain't come for me for that, so you know what I mean?
Right.
Word.
So from that single coming out and becoming a classic, we're talking about back then. Was there a lot of opportunities coming to you from outside of TRU Criminal?
It was opportunities, but they wasn't major. You know what I mean? They was off of the fact that they heard me on Metal Things or they heard me on, you know, you feel me? Like features. Okay, like I went overseas. You know what I mean? That was an opportunity that I got to go overseas and did some shows in Norway, Amsterdam. You know, we recorded, you know, in Paris. You feel me? So that was like opportunity. That was like an opportunity I got from, you know, I got paid for it. You know, I got a few G's. They paid for my flight, my hotel. You know, and that was an opportunity around that time. Yeah, that was like my first big opportunity where I went out the country and, you know, it was a big deal. Like, oh shit, I did this off hip hop. You know what I mean? Got paid, performed, signed the autographs. That's what I was saying. If it had a video, this was off of no video. This is some underground shit. You know what I mean? College radio. You know what I mean? A little bit of mainstream here and there. You know what I'm saying? But if that shit had a video, man, ain't no telling. I think that shit would have went gold. You know what I'm saying? Because it's made mad noise. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, that was an opportunity. Bigger opportunities came as time went on. Like, you know what I mean? Like
we gonna get there.
You feel me? But at that time, it was opportunities, but they wasn't like crazy. You feel me? But they were trying to, you know, shop my records off of that, like because we still independent. You know what I mean? So after that, it did good enough to and it was frustrating because they would call me, like people from TRU Criminal, like, yo, we had a meeting with Loud, we had a meeting with this, we had a meeting with that. They said they was gonna call us back, or they said they liked the record. And then, you know, you waiting, you like excited, you like, oh shit, yo, we gonna be on Loud, oh shit, we gonna be on that shit. Like, yo, we can't wait, yo, they had a meeting with what's the name? You know what I mean? Sometimes they tell me the meeting, like, yo, it didn't go well, they wasn't feeling it, they was feeling the other artists. Or they said you should fix this or fix that. It was like weird like that. You know what I mean? Like some days you be hyped, like, yo, you had that hope, like, yo, this is gonna be the day I'm gonna get that major call. You feel
Right.
me? Like get out. It's like being in the minor leagues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yo, but they hearing you. You know, the majors is hearing you. They hearing you on that radio.
Top 50 underground classics, right? What number would you place Problems?
Problems, damn. Underground classics, damn. I'ma definitely put that in the top 10. You know what I mean? I'ma put metal things like
We're talking about the solo. Let's stick with the solo.
All right,
Problems.
Problems. Yeah,
Or FBI. Like, where would you put?
FBI. Man, I love that record. I'm gonna put that in the top 5. You know what I mean? Some may disagree because that's one of the more, you know what I mean, later on joints. You know what I mean? But I feel like that joint should have got more burned. You know what I mean? Like with me, I feel like back then, none of them joints had videos. Not one of them joints. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just did a joint to a video like a few years ago to what it looked like. You got crack, what it cooked like. You know what I mean? But you know what? I'm wrong. You know what? Don't Trust Anyone did have a video. That had a video.
I remember that.
That had a video. And like I said, they played that on MTV. They played that here and there on different shit, but it didn't. Video Music Box.
Talk about.
Yeah, Video Music Box. But we ain't had that major marketing budget, so we was getting on Video Music Box and Bobby Simmons and shit like that. You know what I mean? MTV randomly played it. I don't know how the hell they got a hold of it, but they randomly played. They didn't play the whole video either. They played like a clip of it. You know what I'm saying? I remember that day too. I was young. I'm telling all my people, telling my baby moms, I'm gonna be on MTV. Watch. You sitting there watching it. That shit is like a clip. I'm like, oh, so tight. But I was on there though. You know what I mean? It was official.
Right.
But that's the thing about that independent shit. It was like, yo, without that major marketing budget, it's like you scraping type shit. You know what I mean? So you trying to get to the next, hoping they invest. You know what I mean? Every time you do it first, and then they want to make their money back too. You want to make your money back, and and then hope somebody invests. So you don't gotta, you know what I mean? But I didn't even get that when I was younger. But yeah, man, my bad.
No, so after Metal Things and Problems, what was the next song?
The next song was Don't Trust Anyone.
Okay.
You know what
How
I mean?
did that came about?
All right, so
And was the budget different?
nah, it was like kind of like the same shit. It was like, you know what I mean? Yo, Metal Things and Problems, shout out to Stretch Armstrong too. You know what I mean? And shout out to DJ Eclipse. You know what I mean? All the DJs that played that record. You know what I mean? Stretch Armstrong, he didn't play Ain't No Burner at first. You know what I'm saying? So I was hurt by that, like, cause I'm still like, I'm a hip hop scientist. Like, I bleed this shit. Like, this is my heart. Like, you feel me? So the thing about it is, the nigga Stretch loved Metal Things. He loved Problems. He was playing that shit like he really broke that record. You know what I'm saying? So then after that, we got with Buck Wild. You know what I'm saying? Again, you know what I mean? We went to his crib, and he's playing all kind of ill beats. Man, I'll tell you, I'll never forget these days, man. Those are some great days. He's playing these beats, fire. I hear Don't Trust Anyone. I'm like, yo, let me get that, right? But before that, he played me this Biggie shit, A Story to Tell. The beat. You know what I'm saying? It was the beat. So I'm like, oh shit, this beat is fire. You know what I mean? And Yeah. I picked Don't Trust Anyone. I write it, and yo, it's crazy. The day after I had my daughter, I recorded that song. You know what I mean? Shout out to my daughter, Kara Marie. You know what I mean? So yo, the day after I had my daughter, I wrote that. I recorded it, and we recorded it in, I think, Unique Studio now, or some other studio. We was in some other studio, but it was dope. Shout out to LS, Capital LS. He was a part of this group called Rumble Tilskins. Back in the days, they was on RCA.
I remember them.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and I had met him through a mutual friend. Shout out to A King. You know what I mean? I met LS, and he signed to True Criminal. LS is the dude on the hook. Don't trust anyone. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah. And then you had the Ain't No One We Can Trust. That was my man, Panama P.I. Rest in peace. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, with that record, okay, I laid the verses, and again, we in the studio, we like, damn, this shit is fire. Like, yo, I'm like, yo, this is the one right here. Like, I'm feeling it. Like, then they hit me with the, yo, you need a hook. You need a hook. So here we go again. I'm in there brainstorming about 2 hours, just running around, smoking, bugging out, telling jokes. Crunch time come, you feel me? They like, yo, what you got? Then I just hit them with the don't trust anyone. So they was like, everybody was looking at me like, so I'm like, yo, this is my idea. So they say, all right, LS was there. Know what I mean? So, you know, LS was going to say it for me because he had like a singing voice.
Right.
So he sings it. So we all in the studio, right? Everybody just got quiet. He sings it. So we all looking at each other. Then next thing you know, they bring it back. He like, yo, give me another track. They bring it back. They play it, Don't Trust Anyone. And he goes, ooh, ooh, ooh. Everybody went crazy. Oh, shit. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Then I said, ain't no one we can trust. And I said, yo, I'm gonna get P.I. to say that part, because P.I., he said that on the Onyx joint. But that was one of my best friends and shit. You know what I'm saying? I used to always, you know what I mean? That was my mentor and shit. We used to always hang out together and shit. I was like my brother. So the nigga goes, I'm like, yo, after we did the hook, it was crazy. I call up P.I. P.I. came to the studio when we mixed it. That session was crazy. Now, it was crazy because I was letting everybody hear that record, right, in the neighborhood, and they're like, yo, that shit is fire. Next thing you know, I go to the studio, and they mix it down, right? And, yo, it sounded 10 times better. I was like, yo, this shit sound amazing. So my confidence went like this. I was excited because I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, I already hit him with Problems.
Right.
I hit him with Metal Things. I said, this going to be my solo shit right here. The solo, up-tempo, kind of up-tempo. Like, yeah, I'm spitting on it, everything, right? So, boom, we finished the record, and they sitting on it, like, for a minute. Because, you know, the timing, man, like, of vinyl and all that. But then, come to find out, it's not going to be a single I'm thinking this is going to be me, Street Smarts, Don't Trust Anyone. Nah, they put it out as a True Criminal. They put it out on the EP, on the vinyl. And now, with the vinyl, if the songs get lower, with the more songs on the shit, you know what I'm saying? So when it came out, I'm like, yo, it sound a bit lower from when I'll be hearing it on the tape. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, it don't sound like how it's, you know what I mean? Like, it was still getting spins and stuff like that. And I was like, damn, and no disrespect to my label mates at that time, you know what I mean? They're still my brothers to this day. But I just felt like that particular record should have been by itself. You know what I mean? That was a single. It made noise. Like, still a classic. It's another classic. But again, you know, it just, I felt like it should have been put out individually. You know what I mean? Because that was a powerful record.
Why they made that decision to put Don't Trust Anyone on an EP?
Yo, I'm guessing that they wanted to build off the momentum of Problems and Metal Things, you know, because at that point, you know, True Criminal was buzzing, you know what I mean? That single was like the hottest single on the underground, and then they had the boot and the chain on the vinyl, you know, so people was getting familiar with that, you know, and yeah, it came as a surprise to me, you know what I'm saying? I thought it was just going, because we all recorded those records around the same time, you know what I mean? On that EP, you had the Godsons, they had a joint called Sub Sidewalkers, and Ox Skills had a joint on there, and then you had Metal Things Remix. You feel me? So I thought it was dope that we had 2 joints on there. But like I said, I thought so big of Don't Trust Anyone and how hot and how ill that record was. Like, I felt like it should have been by itself. You know what I mean?
Did you question the label to why? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I questioned them. I questioned them, and basically they basically said what I'm saying. Really, like, you know, they was trying to basically get the whole crew on. You know what I mean? And yeah, man.
Was there ever talks about you recording an album with True Criminal?
Oh yeah. That was the bottom line. That was like,
how you never got there though?
I mean, we got there, but we didn't get to the finish line.
Talk about it.
You know what I mean? We got there twice, actually. You feel me? But, all right, so all right, we were on the EP.
All right.
Right? Okay, so after the EP, we did another single. It was called Effortless.
Okay.
Right? And it was produced by Domingo. And the hook went, what it look like. You got crack, what it cook like. You got a track, what's the hook like? F is off the hook, right? We stole cars while you took bikes. And on a good night, I get your whole hood hype. So, yo, I did that record, you know what I'm saying? And on the B-side, they had the Don't Trust Anyone remix. You feel me? And then, boom, they was loving it. It was another underground classic, playing it, you know? And I love those records. Like, it was up-tempo, it was hard, you know what I'm saying? I love, you know, everybody that heard it couldn't deny it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, boom, next thing you know, that's when we get to deal with Stretch, you know what I mean? Stretch had a deal with Sony 550, you feel me? So, you know, the EP, going back to the EP did all right, you know what I'm saying? But I just felt like, you know, Don't Trust Anyone could have been like huge, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like I said, I put it on the list with Metal Things and Problems, like, it's still one of them records where you'd be like, oh shit, that's like Edge the Stone type shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
On some hip hop shit, you know what I mean? But yeah, so moving forward, we get the deal, we start working on the album.
What was the deal like?
The deal was, at first when they even, he called me, because he used to call me all the time, like, yo, I was in the office with such and such, so I used to get to a point where like, yo, bro, don't call me no more unless it's like solid, bro, because I'm going through it over here, like, you feel me? So he like, nah, this shit is going down. He like, yo, Stretch Armstrong, he wants to sign you, like, for real. Like, he got to deal with Sony. So, you know, so I'm like, yo, I'm like, yo, let me get, $50,000 up front. That's what I wanted, like, advance. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, damn, I can't give you $50,000. I was
Who,
like, yo.
Stretch said that?
No, Lee from True Criminal.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He was like, I could get you 10,000. I'm like, damn, 10,000? I'm like, yo, Sony? I'm like, I don't know. He like, yo, I was like, yo, what's the album budget? You know what I'm saying? He said the album budget was 300,000. You know what I'm saying? So I said, oh, I could do an ill album with that. Because mind you, some of my friends had budgets. So I said, damn, that's around a little bit more around the same shit they had. I'm good. You know what I mean? I said, I can take that 10,000. I'll be all right as long as I make the music, right? Boom. Of course, that 10,000 ran out like fucking like a month probably. I give it maybe 2. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, we start working on the album. The first songs was Ghetto Mania. That was produced by Young Lord. Shout out to Young Lord. Beats was fire. And the B-side was KO. Shout out to KO. FB High, you know what I mean? And those records was dope. Those was 2 hard records. And, those was like, Sony, they put that out on vinyl. You know what I mean? It didn't have a video, you know what I mean? But it wasn't meant to be the first single. It was just like a promo single, like an introduction to keep cool while I'm working on the album. Like, yo, you know how it be.
Right.
You know what I mean? Street record.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they put it out, it's buzzing. And next thing you know, I keep working. I'm working. I got Buck Wild on the album. Who else? This kid named Noodles, KO, and Red Spider, you know what I'm saying? Those people I did joints with, you know what I'm saying? And then around that time, I used to bump into a lot of people in the studio and shit. Shout out to Joel Ortiz, you know what I mean? Pretty Ugly, Paul Rosenberg. A lot of people used to be in and out. Bumpy the Great. A lot of people used to be in and out that studio. You know what I mean? That I look back now and be
What
like,
studio was that?
oh, it was Soho Studios.
Okay.
And shit. You know what I mean? It was across the street from that diner. The Moon Setting.
Spring Street over there, right?
Spring Street. It's right there on Spring Street. But yeah, that studio, now that I think about it, around that time, a lot of people used to be in and out of my sessions that's like huge now. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of A&Rs and shit. I didn't even know who they was at that time. My bad, A&R. Shit, holla at me.
Easy Mo stuck himself in the session one time.
Yeah, Easy Mo,
Yeah.
Akinelli. Oh man, we came across so many people. But other than that, yeah, so we worked on it. But the guy who got me signed, shout out to Michael Kaplan, you know what I'm saying? He got fired, you know what I'm saying? Allegedly. I mean, that's what I was told, allegedly. He got fired. They got a new staff. A new staff comes in. They want to put their artists first. They basically shelved the kid, basically. You know what I'm saying? So I'm basically like, I'm telling my people like, yo, look, I need some more money if we gonna be sitting around. You know what I mean? So they like, yo, they like act like not budging with the bread. So long story short, True Criminal, you know what I'm saying? They get the lawyer. And we finally get out of the deal, you know what I'm saying? So that was happening. That's what happened with that, you know what I mean? Straight up, you know what I mean? So then, after that, should I keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, so then after that, that's when I was like, yo, damn, what the I'm gonna do now? You know what I mean? It's all up now, you know what I'm saying? So, mind you, and I had a daughter too. You know what I mean? I used to be bringing my daughter to the studio with me, all that. You know what I mean? So next thing you know, I'm like, damn, I'm thinking what I'm gonna do. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to get a regular job or something. Lee called me up like, yo, I'm about to get a beat from Alchemist. You ever heard of him? I'm like, yeah, Alchemist L. He like, yo, I'm gonna get a beat from him. We gonna do this record. Boom. So I'm like, all right. So,
And let people know what year this was.
oh, this had to be about 99.
Okay.
99. That had to be about 99. You know what I mean? Boom. I did that record. Next thing you know, 6 months go by. That shit started making mad noise. He ain't even, it wasn't even released, actually. He just put that shit out on some, it wasn't no vinyl to that at first either. They just put that shit on the radio. Like, they gave it to the DJs. Then that shit started playing. They started playing that shit like crazy. The next thing you know, Lee calls me. He like, yo, I got a deal. New Line Cinema. Know what I mean? So I'm thinking he bullshitting. I'm like, come on, man. He like, yeah, for real. He like, I'm in California right now. He's like, yo, I let them hear metal things. I let them hear everything. He's like, John F. Hennessy. He's like, yo, they was loving that joint. I was like, word? He's like, yeah. He was like, yo, so you gonna be the first solo artist on New Line Records. I'm like, yeah, man. Like, yo, he's like, you gonna be on soundtracks. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Now the budget was a bit lower. The budget was a bit lower than what's the name? The first one. But we had more creative control. You know what I'm saying? So the budget was like $225. You know what I mean? They gave me 25. You know what I mean? And mind you, remember I said the compilation? Every song from the compilation, they gave me like 5 racks. You know what I'm saying? So that was like my set off, you know what I'm saying, while working on the album and shit. You know what I mean? The new album, the new situation, right? So then during that time, boom, the soundtracks come up. Because mind you, they're a movie company. Another group they had on there was Immature. Immature, that was like they guys and shit. You know what I mean? So boom, we start working on the album. Yo, the shit is dope. I can't lie to you, man. Just Blaze, fucking, who else is on that? KO, Buck Wild, Fred Wreck, the Eastsiders, Mr. Porter, Cocaine, Tash from the Alcoholics. Yo, man, that shit was mad fun, man. I ain't gonna lie. Around that time, that was some of my most fun times in music. You know what I mean? Right now in my life, I ain't gonna front. I've been last year too. The energy is really back. You know what I mean? As far as having fun with this shit. You know what I mean? But around that time, that was when a lot of great things was happening for me. You know what I mean?
Who was picking all these features? You or the label?
Really, the label, they didn't really pick them, but they would suggest them, or they'd be like, yo, how you feel about... Oh, also who I had on there, I had Obi Trice, and I had, I said the Eastsiders, Fat Joe and Nature. Yeah, they was on that. They was on the album, too.
Did you actually pick any one of those artists? Like, yeah, I want this person on the album.
Nah, honestly, now that you say it, nah, I didn't...
So wait. So now, I don't know, man. Do you consider that independent?
No, we wasn't independent at that point, though. Like
yeah,
that,
but still, True Criminal was who you talked to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's who made the decisions, really.
True Criminal signed a New Line. You know what I mean? I was signed to True Criminal. You feel me? So that's how it really worked. You feel me? If you think about it. So I wasn't really in control of the budget. You feel me? I wasn't really in control of decisions, really, when it came to...
I mean, even creative control?
Creatively, like, if I ain't like something or, you know what I mean? Ultimately, you know what I mean? Yeah, I would be like, yo, nah, I ain't liking this or whatever the case. You know what I mean?
But isn't creative control a part of, like, picking who you want to be on your album?
Yeah.
Right?
But like I said, looking back at it, True Criminal was signed to New Line. I was signed to True Criminal. Looking back at it, you know what I'm saying? while I'm doing it, I'm not like, I'm just thinking I'm a part of this. I'm signed. I'm thinking I'm on New Line too. I'm thinking when in all reality, I'm just a business partner. You know what I mean? I'm just, you know what I mean? Just a front man. You feel me? You know what I mean? But the thing about it, yeah, so opportunities like the Rush Hour 2 soundtrack, right?
Now, before you get to that,
Right.
right? At this point, working on the album, did life change for you? Like,
Oh yeah.
how did life change?
Oh yeah, man. I got my first crib. What else? I got my first crib.
Did you get a Porsche?
Nah, I ain't no Porsche. I had a nice little crib. What else? I was just, man, shit. They was playing my shit like not every day on the radio, but people started recognizing. Like I would go places and people would be like, "Oh shit, I seen you in the store. So I seen you in the, I know you from somewhere."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And my money, I had chains and shit. You know, rap shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Tattoos, I had braids.
Right.
Shit changed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What was you pushing though?
Nah, I was pushing a hoopty. I ain't have no ill whip. I ain't even gonna lie.
Right.
I really spurged on the crib. I ain't really have an ill whip. You know what I mean?
Right.
Keep it real, y'all. I'm a real G.
Right.
Straight up. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So
I could have bought an ill whip though. I could have bought an ill whip, but you know what I'm saying? Straight up.
So now the Rush Hour 2 soundtrack comes around. Right?
Yup.
Go from there.
Yo, so one day he calls me and he's like, "Yo, oh shit, my bad, I'm tripping. I'm daydreaming." He calls me, he's like, "Yo, the Rush Hour 2 soundtrack, they want us to get on that." So I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's go. Let's go." You know what I mean? So at first, I'm dropping this is about to get juicy. At first, he like, "Yo, we want to get a joint with you, Scarface, and Trick Daddy." So I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm like, yeah, like this is where FT belong. Like, let's go." And it's on some Dirty South shit too. So I'm like, I'm gonna have some Dirty South buzzing too. But that shit ain't work out. Long story short, you know what I'm saying? Due to budgets, artists back then, they wanted mad bread. You know what I mean? Rightfully so. You know what I mean? So, boom, we still, I'm thinking, they asked me like, "Yo, what other songs you think could go?" I'm like, "Yo, John F. Hennessy." You know what I mean? Because Def Jam, FT, fuck that. They had artists like DMX, Meth, Red. I'm like, yo, that should have fit right in. Boom. Do you feel me? So next thing you know, they was like, when they came back to me with it, like they like, nah, they didn't want John F. Hennessy. You know what I mean? They wanted this song I had called Brolic. You know what I mean? Something more commercial. And I was just like, I was kind of thrown off because I was like, I'm happy to be on it, but I'm like, yo, this song is like, it's really laid back song. Like it's like, Brolic.
It's not something you would have picked.
It's not something I would have picked for that project.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like a deep cut. You know what I'm saying? But it could have been a single too, because the concept of the song is called Brolic. You know what I mean? And I used to work out a lot. I used to be Mad Diesel around that time. You know what I mean? And then, when you see a thick woman walking by, you say, "Damn, shorty was Brolic."
Yeah.
Or a bag of bud, Brolic. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's Brolic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what the song was about. Brolic, Brolic, Brolic. But looking back at that song, I liked it, but I felt like looking back at it, it could have been executed better. Like the way I recorded it, you know what I mean? I was experimenting when I was younger. Now I'm a master at that. I wish I could do that shit over. That shit would be a fucking hit smash. You know what I mean? Just by the way I layer it. You know what I mean? But back then, when I was doing that song, I was experimenting. You know what I mean? If you listen back to it now, you probably be able to tell. You know what I mean? Because it sounds different from John F. Hennessy and Metal Things and all them songs around that time. You know what I mean? And it's more laid back. But anyway, yeah. So they picked that song. Long story short, it's a Marvin Gaye sample. You know what I mean? Produced by KO. Shout out to KO. And yeah, so it made it. It made it on the soundtrack. You know, and I got some upfront bread for it. You know what I mean? Straight up. And I got like 5 racks up front. You know what I'm saying? And then when it came out, you know, I was get some checks here and there. You still get checks, but that shit, you know what I mean? If it dies down after a while, you know what I mean? But you still gonna get it, but you know what I mean? You don't know what's coming. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, as far as the Rush Hour 2 joint, it went gold. Got a gold plaque from it.
So what you did after Rush Hour 2?
So after Rush Hour 2, we was working on the album. And in the midst of that, we got another opportunity to get on Final Destination 2. And yeah, that was dope too. I thought it was dope because it was like almost back to back. And I always look at it as buying time. I feel like every dope thing you put out, it all depends. Like, while you working on an album, you want to keep them interested, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you don't want to rush the process, right? So it's dope to have a feature, some songs on a soundtrack, a mixtape banger. You know, the more those bubble, that buy you more time to work on your album. You know what I'm saying? If you want, you feel me? So that's how, and it makes it more content for people to look forward to. You feel me? So, yeah, we got on the Final Destination 2 score. It wasn't in the soundtrack. I mean, they had a set. If you consider a score a soundtrack, you feel me? Because at the end of the movie, you see the credits. You know, John F. Hennessy or whatever, and it's the scene. Actually, in the beginning of the movie, it's the scene where the dude is sniffing the yay, and he's driving, and they play it like 3 times. You feel me? And
But there's a soundtrack for the scoring also?
nah, it's basically the score. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, see, the difference between Rush Hour 2 and Final Destination 2 was we was on that soundtrack. So the soundtrack, that was just, you know, a record, tapes, CDs, you know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't in the actual movie, you know what I mean? And you won't see our name on the credits at the end of the movie, but you see the name on the credits, on the packaging, and on the album, you know what I mean? The CD and the tapes, you know what I mean? But Final Destination 2, it wasn't like that. It was in the actual movie. You feel me? And the DVD went platinum too. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was dope. And then I felt I got a lot of love from that. I felt good when that happened. I felt like, you know, we was making progress. You feel me? Because, you know, it was an overwhelming support, or people that say they seen it. Or they'll come from the movie and be like, yo, I heard this song. And they still do that too when they play it on TV or whatever. Like, yo, I just heard this song on such and such.
I watched that shit just to hear the song.
Yeah, or people be like, oh, was that you on? I could have swore that was you. I'm like, yeah, that's me. You feel me? So that was dope. You know what I mean?
So what was the money like from that? Like,
from that, I got about 5 racks up front. You know what I mean? Second joint, I got like as far as royalty, like I said, from them joints, I only got 30% of them joints. That was my thing with all them joints.
so no matter how big it gets.
I mean, yeah, basically. I mean, that's what I'm assuming. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know, actually, like, that's a fact. But That's what I'm assuming. You feel me? Word. You know what I mean?
All right. So,
But then I'm also putting in the factors of the sample clearing. You know what I mean? The producer got to get his cut.
right.
Then I'm sure the label is getting they cut or some type of trying to recoup. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
All right. So after Final Destination 2, what was the next project?
The next one, I think it was Friday After Next. You know what I'm saying? Either Friday After Next or All About the Benjamins. Huh? Oh, shit. I forgot about that one. Boom. Yeah. Yeah, that was ill, too. That was actually...
So that's right after
yeah,
Final Destination?
Yeah, that was in the score. That was in the score and in the soundtrack, actually. Yup. I completely forgot about that. You know what I'm saying?
So,
Yeah.
so what song did they put on the soundtrack?
Effortless. What it looked like, you got crack, what it cooked like. It's in the movie, too. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm like, yo, that's another one off the rip. 5 racks. Bam.
Wait, so it's on the soundtrack and it's in the score, and then you still got the 5 racks.
Yeah.
You didn't question that?
I'm sure I did at the time. I'm sure, like, I might have, honestly,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm not sure as far as the money. You know what I'm saying? I know I got like 5 racks though. Like you always got like when the first initial, you know what I mean, pick up of the song, you get a check off the rip. You know what I mean? At least that's what my situation was like. You know what I'm saying? So.
Were you still recording at this point, like for your album, or doing features?
Yeah, I was recording because that song was actually an old song. You feel me? Because we did Effortless a long time ago, but they just, you know, they I guess they had access to the catalog after they signed, after True Criminal signed to them. You feel me? So that's the song they picked. You know what I mean? That was the old song that they didn't even pay for type shit. You know what I mean? But I was working, yeah, during that time. During that whole time of that soundtrack run, I was working on the album. You know what I'm saying? All that shit was there to set me up. You know what I mean? It was all to set me up for when I dropped my album. You know what I mean? And I believe had things worked out, I would have been on even more soundtracks. You know what I mean? I'd have been on a ton of them. You know what I mean? If that mistake didn't happen. You know what I mean?
What was the mistake?
That True Criminal compilation. You feel me? And not throwing anybody under the bus, because I'm not trying to point fingers and throw nobody under the bus. But, you know, that's like I said before, it's a thing where in my head I'm like, damn, I felt like my album was sacrificed. You know what I mean? For that compilation. You know what I mean? So that's really what it was. You know what I mean? And I feel like if doing that compilation without, or if it was done differently, maybe if that compilation was my EP or my mixtape album, or like I said, me and Cardi group album, or Cardi one side and me one side on some Red and Meth shit, and have a couple big features like Snoop or whatever, then, you know, with the same producers, Buck Wild, Large Professor, it'd have been more productive for the label. It probably would have sold a little more. And like I said, I don't think the anti-backpack movement album was a bad album. I don't think it was a bad album. I just think that I think maybe it was bad timing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe not when it came to them, but for me in my situation, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, like I said, I'm not bitter, I'm not angry. I move forward, you know what I mean? I went through my times where I was depressed or mad or whatever, but now I'm happy. I'm living life, and I'm moving forward. And I'm about to get this bread all over again. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.